So, Ed, in your first season, you did a lot of work off the court. Community meet and greets, shaking hands, kissing babies, trying to get people back in the stands, reaching out to the alums. What was this offseason like going into your second year?
This season, a little bit different, but some follow-up from last year, continuing to meet the people of Georgetown, continue to meet former players, AAU coaches, high school coaches in the area, opening up our campus a little bit more to those people that, didn't see the behind the scenes of Georgetown. And then obviously concentrate on rebuilding our roster. We have 14 new players on the roster, which is really, really important. And in saying that, that's the landscape of today's intercollegiate sport. So we have to adjust to change. We have to adapt to that and lean into it in order to rebuild this program.
Yeah, and it's not just a program that no one's heard of, obviously.
Right.
Georgetown, there's a lot of tradition, a lot of, if you will, basketball royalty. We talk about Dikembe Mutombo, rest in peace, Allen Iverson, Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, a lot of those guys who we understood as players against those guys, they had a culture there. With 14 new guys, what is Ed Cooley's idea of today's culture for that school, or even identity, if you will?
We're still building that. Like, as you know, you competed against that at an elite level. You all competed for championships at the same time. It is our goal to build toughness, incredible care and love for one another, camaraderie that is just not on the court but off the court, making sure that the student body feels part of our organization, faculty, staff, administrators, getting everybody to row the boat the same way, right? We have to create a home court advantage that's not there yet, right? So little by little, doing small things that will add up to building that culture of toughness, of care, of love, of gratitude, of appreciation. It takes time. It takes time given the landscape that we're in. Yet, because of the portal, because of name, image, and likeness, you're probably able to speed that up a little bit quicker than in the past.
Yeah, it's interesting because you got a couple of different things here. You got to speed it up, but it takes time. And with 14 new players, yes, it will take time. But you've seen them now a few months. Which guys that you have your new guys that do you see that are maybe understanding or getting a grasp of what you're trying to build, or even a guy that surprised you since he's been on campus?
Great question, Donny. I say Micah Peavy kind of gets it. He's one of the veteran players, really benefited from the COVID year. You're able to play him at multiple positions. Elite defender. He's one of the best defenders that I've coached in my career, on the ball, off the ball, his physicality. I think Jaden Epps made a big step leadership-wise. He kind of knows the no, and I think he'll make another step. I think Malik Mack, really, really solid leader, shot maker, big shot taker so far that we're learning. One of the biggest surprises has been Thomas Sorber, a freshman. Yeah, he's one. He will be a national name soon. No pressure on him. It's what I feel. It's what he's so young in the face. When you look at him, he looks like a baby, but he plays like an adult. So I really expect him to have an immediate impact, not just at Georgetown, but in the country.
Well, another guy who played like an adult last year, who talking to him earlier, said there's a lot of conversation between you and him, and your relationship has really grown. That's Jaden Epps. Last year, 30-plus points, 7 times, double figures 24 times. But obviously this year he's going to have to do more than just be a bucket getter. How good can he be? And to get to that next level, what does he have to do for your team this year?
Another fair question. Obviously he has to lead, right? We're not going to have to lean into him so much offensively because I think there are other weapons that'll be on the floor. There'll be other shot makers on the floor. Well, I think we'll have more of an inside-outside presence. He has to take care of the ball, right, and be able to finish the game, right? He has to be able to finish the game.
Is your success dependent on him? You don't want to put pressure on one guy.
Part of it. In fairness, it's a fair question. I'm not saying it's all on him, but he knows us. Yeah. He knows Georgetown. He's one of only 2 players to come back that played in a game at Georgetown. So we're going to hold him accountable, right? You know what you're supposed to do. Lead the new guys, right? And at the end of the game, you have to deliver. That's your job. right? You got to be a closer. We need him to be a closer for Georgetown to make a big jump in our league.
Well, you have to now pull out your crystal ball, and you and I talk about this a lot. If we could see what was going to happen in March, we'd be really. Well, you are rich, but we'd be much more well off.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You kidding me? I'm trying to be like you.
So now you've been in D.C. a year. You got only two guys back, but you got some new faces. You have some athletes. I would say there was a term you used back in the day. It sounds like you have some dudes, and you need those to win. Where do you see this team in March once we get back to Big East tournament time?
So again, we systematically scheduled a schedule we feel that will help us gain some confidence, learn how to win, learn how to be in pressure situations without just being thrown to the wolves. We're the youngest team probably at the high major level in all of college basketball. Yeah. We systematically took all these young players to build camaraderie, to build culture, to build identity, where hopefully we can retain the players given the landscape in order to build our program to compete for championships. So the crystal ball is get better every game, get better every practice, one game at a time to prepare us for what will be a monster Big East year.
Yeah, so this is an old school question just because I'm a baby of the Big East.
Right,
I grew up in this conference.
Yeah.
And we talk about a lot of rivalries. That's what it always was back when I played. How special would it be to see that? You can take a pick of any of the schools, but to see that Georgetown-St. John's rivalry back again.
I would love it. You know, walking into Madison Square Garden even today, we know there's no game. Yeah. The goosebumps you feel, the energy that's in here, the different dialects you hear just walking in the street, the smell of the hot dogs, the smell of beer, like it is like
the service elevator.
The service elevator, yeah. I mean, that thing hasn't been cleaned in 97 years. I don't know, but it is something so special. And for Georgetown and St. John's to go back head to head, just remember Willie Glass and you remember Walter Berry and you remember those legendary players at St. John's. Hopefully we can get back to that point where both programs are ascending and competing for national championships once again.